Hey guys, this is OracleDaphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another reading for you guys. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Scorpio. I have put all this cards and the charms out here, as you can see on this t-shirt that's white, just so it has like some brightness because I'm recording towards the end of the day, and I wanted to get this one, posted today, or at least try to attempt to finish recording it today. And so that's what we've got here. Before I jump in, I just want to say that all of my monthly horoscopes have been moved to my new channel. So essentially all of like the shorts I've been doing that I brought back, they are on my OracleDaphne 2.0 channel. So I'm going to leave that link in the comments. I'm really excited about the new channel. I intend to keep posting on both channels. I didn't really think it through how much work it was going to be, but I really love my original channel. It's something that I've come to really grow to love, and I don't anticipate stopping recording for this channel, this original channel, anytime soon. If I don't post as much, it means I'm probably just posting on the other channels. But definitely subscribe so you can check to see the new content. I have a lot of creative ideas for all of my channels. So and some partnerships that are going to be happening also. So I'm excited about a lot of things yet to come. So you don't want to miss anything. So definitely subscribe. If you actually see this video pop up, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. I've been trying so hard to work on my reach so that my videos get seen more, and the more I work on it, the less the algorithm likes me. So that's another reason I started my other channel, because I wanted to see more growth and people to be able to see my content. If you'd like to get a reading, I'm still open for readings. Those the booking information is all in the description box. And those of you who are able to donate, all donations are really appreciated. Small, medium, large, even if it's just $20, it means a lot to me. So thank you so much for everybody being supportive and, supporting my work, all the comments I read. And yeah, I just appreciate all the love and support. So I'm going to jump in. This is really, really interesting messages. In some regard, some of these charms came out what you'd think of as like in reverse, like, turned over. And I think of them as almost as if I was reading a reverse of what they represent for the tarot. So it's very fascinating, these pieces especially. So I'm going to start with those messages first and then kind of jump into more of the tarot. But in general, the collective tarot card messages, some of them are coming through heavily around conflict. And there's a lot of sword energy, heavy, like Three of Swords energy, which can lead to hurt or heartbreak. Some of you going through a breakup or divorce, or some of you maybe wondering what comes next in relationships if you've gone through some kind of painful breakup or some kind of painful divorce. For some of you, like, this is coming on the heels of a breakup or divorce. You're maybe you're even in the middle of the process for a few of you. It feels like maybe I'm just seeing like someone who has been hurt, and I see hurt in the future, which means some of you have not gotten out of a relationship yet. So it's going to be different for everybody, obviously, but it feels like it might be actually like your love life in your dating might not be going so well. But I don't necessarily feel that the conflict and the sword energy is only from your romance or your love life. I feel like the conflict energy is coming from, I want to say, other people that may not even be related to you. Like, this could be external sources of maybe people hating on you or just not being supportive of you. I want to say some people are very critical of you. I do see, and this is going to sound like a strange contradictory message, but I do feel like some of you are going to meet someone new, like romance wise, in or at a time that's that's unusual. So like, for example, like I saw someone meeting someone on an airplane. Okay. Um, and I thought that was really interesting. So some of you, some of you who may travel, you might sit next to someone and like hit it off. Scorpio can be really engaging. So like you get into a conversation with a Scorpio and they don't like ever leave your life after that. Like you're joined at the hip. They merge with you and like you become best friends instantly. This kind of how the Scorpio is. So I think like for some of you, there's this thing about maybe meeting someone in an unusual place or at a time where you're not really expecting to. Typically, like I've met people on planes, before, but none of them have really kept in touch. But you know what? Again, you're Scorpio. You're going to kind of latch onto them, and you might become like very close friends, if not like best friends, and ultimately, maybe even tie the knot later in time. I feel like I'm reading for a lot of people who are newly single or freshly like at a point where you kind of really are ready for, maybe cautiously ready for what could come next in relationships. And if you're dating and you're kind of cautiously, testing the waters, maybe it's not going the best because I don't know. I just feel like for whatever I'm seeing or for whatever reason I'm seeing it, it's just all this conflict sword energy isn't really supporting necessarily you or your love life. Some of you may feel like in general, like you don't have a lot of love or support. You might have people in your life that love you, but maybe it's not, you might feel like it's not genuine or heartfelt, or you might feel like there's things that are missing, in your life in particular. One of those might be just, I don't know, like I want to say love and support. I'm going to read some of these charms here really quickly because there's like so many messages and I'm going to run out of time. So one of them is this in the reverse is about damage. It's about being hurt and irreconcilable, like irreparable damage. Very, very challenging life experiences, near-death experiences, stuff which scars you for life, stuff where something is broken and there is no fixing it. There's no going back. If a Scorpio gets into a relationship and there is some kind of severance or some kind of ending, it can drag out for a long period of time and create excess damage. The Scorpio does not like to like cut and like be snipped and done. Like it doesn't work that way for a Scorpio. The Scorpio is more vengeful, vindictive, and will carry a grudge, and will fight to the point where somebody else gets hurt. I don't necessarily feel like that's entirely going to be the message here. I feel like though some of you, there is something that's ended or something that's over, and this could be a relationship to a person who you were very close to. This could even be family members. The marble here showing up in the seashell here showing up shows me that there's maybe some hurt even within like if you have children. For some of you, this is grown children. For some of you, this is not grown children. This could also be issues with parents of your child. So like you and a partner, or you and the partner of, so this is a baby daddy or a baby mommy, something like that. Where there was a lot of damage that happened in that relationship. Potentially after the child was born. I'm also seeing this in reverse to me represents a creative block. So like for some of you, you might have like a case of writer's block, or you might feel I can't even say it, especially burned out or drained, or just like you don't really want to do very much at all. You might want to just chill and like zone out. For some of you may just want to watch movies. For some of you may just want to scroll. For some of you, it's just this essence or energy that you're creatively not getting sparked by anything. Or you've reached a point where I feel like actually Scorpio is extraordinarily productive. I actually feel, and this is going to sound odd, but I feel like the Scorpio, whoever I'm reading for, or even if you're not Scorpio at all, you could be watching also, that you have been actually probably overproductive and you've drained your sacral energy or you've drained your creativity and you need to just rest. Or you need to just like pull back and be like, yeah, I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. For some of you, you need to unplug from social media. For some of you, you need to go outside. For some of you, you're disconnected from the living library, from the energies around you that would support your creativity. For some of you, you need to kind of take a day to just maybe walk through a museum very slowly. And be inspired and look around at things. For some of you, we need to kind of go to, I don't know, I'm seeing like a place in California that has a lot of vintage stores or places where you kind of just move around slowly. Maybe you get a coffee, maybe you kind of go window shopping. That's the East Coast term for not buying anything. You just go in and you just look around. And then you go home or you go back to a hotel and you rest and maybe you eat a little dinner and you go to sleep. And it's not a productive day. It's not productive, but you're living your life. There's a really beautiful song by Ella Langley that just came out about living your life again. And living life again. I think that's what it's called. And she's really inspired me lately, actually. And I think she's going through a patch of time where everybody really loves her. But it's interesting that she's just been really inspiring me. And I think that for some of you, you need to go to a place that makes you feel like home. Go to a place where you can rest and unplug and recharge your batteries. Whether you're masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. You need to like decompress and rest and recharge your batteries, because either you've been hyper overproductive or hyper vigilant about, and Scorpio can do this, micromanaging everything, being really obsessed with the details, obsessing about things, all kinds of things. And it's in some way just too much. And maybe it's like time to just kind of escape a little bit, unplug a little bit, and do you. And there's also something about that song that reminds me about what it means to be alive, what it means to live your life again. Like, so for Ella Langley in the song, she goes home and she starts to ride horses. But I imagine like that song is about her taking time for herself, right? Taking time to just rest, taking time. Like I kind of just imagine that whole song being about how she woke up late. Maybe she did a little skincare routine. Maybe she showered, probably 11:30, 12, noon. Maybe she went down and ate a little bowl of cereal or something simple for breakfast. Maybe she decides to get dressed after she scrolls a little bit and go out and feed the horses and maybe go for a little bit of a ride. And then after, she kind of comes back in and maybe takes another shower, maybe gets dressed, maybe watches an old movie, sleeps again, maybe takes a nap. Maybe goes out to dinner with a family member or a friend, or calls somebody in the evening, maybe drinks half a glass of wine, maybe has some pasta and goes to bed. Like, that's how I see that song, like her day progressing, or what that song's about. Now, obviously it's not, this is just how I imagine it. Okay. But like for someone who's, gone home before, any of you who've gone home before, it's kind of similar to that, where you go home and you decompress and there's no pressure. Some of you need to take the pressure off, whatever you're doing. There's also something here about children that's challenging. Either you're not able to get pregnant, or you're having a challenging time with your kids. For some of you, you're an angry mom, or you're not necessarily, I don't want to use the word angry mom, but stressed out mom, tired mom, is showing up here as well. I feel like this piece in the reverse is talking about how something is, it's almost like beating, the equivalent of beating the dead horse. Like, if there's something that happened in your life that, was damaging or bad, it went from bad to worse. Maybe you decided, okay, you're not going to take the high road. You're going to go in and slay. You're going to go in and beat the dead horse, or you're going to tell somebody off even after you've told them off before. This is like, energies in which I can empathize with everybody because, it's hard to go through a period of time where, you should be taking the high road, but you don't, because you don't feel like you should, because nobody's giving you a reason to. So for some of you, you don't want to take the high road. For some of you, you don't feel like anybody's giving you reason to. And maybe you're right. But the energy here that's present is very much about your journey and your healing. And the only way to heal is to be able to take that high road, and letting that damage go, letting that person who hurt you or a person who you really want to hurt in return go. Say no. If that means clearing out, cutting them off, and ghosting permanently, that's what you got to do. I feel like some of you are looking for something that's lost, that you lost, and you're not able to find it. Some of you are going through a period of time where you've been very lost, but nothing's working as far as getting on track. Like maybe you're trying to get on a certain track, or better your life or rebuild your life, but it's taking a long time. Things are not coming together as you would like. Maybe, you're starting over, or you started over, and there's still all of this sort of mess, maybe from an ex, or maybe from situations which, block you either financially, creatively, personally. I feel like this is just really, in some way it's Scorpio type stuff, but it's also the collective. So everybody, it could apply to anybody who's watching, because I think in the collective right now, there's a lot of things that are not working. Okay, there's a lot of things, and it might not even be like specific to a situation in which, you're a single parent, or your, ex, was a real dick. This is more of like collectively, we maybe are going through this period of time where things are harder than they should be, whether it's inflation or whether it's money or not, it's harder than it should be, or harder than it has to be. It's like a post-pandemic world is harder than it has to be. And that's just my take on it. I also feel, and I did mention this, I think in my Libra video, that the robotics takeover from hell has not made things easier. It's made things worse. A lot of people have said, oh, it's all going to be better. And I just think that's total horseshit. I don't believe that at all. Some of you are keeping mum about things, and maybe you're struggling to like not tell somebody off. Like maybe there's somebody in your environment or somebody who's coming at you and you really want to tell them off. And I can't stop you. I don't know. Like I kind of feel like for some of you, you need to use your words, but I would think through your words very carefully. I also would, if you want to go upright here, make a decision to think it out, plan your escape, plan your strategy. What you're going to say, what you're going to write, how you're going to leave, whatever you're going to do. Look at it from the very strategical perspective rather than just saying whatever. Or for some of you, you're not saying anything at all. And I actually feel like for some of you, you need to speak up about something. You need to stand for something. You need to stand on some legs. And I don't necessarily feel like Scorpio really even has legs. As if their legs, they're very tiny. And so this is more of like a challenge for you, because standing on those legs or standing in your power is going to be hard. I also feel like this came out in reverse as well, but I turned it over, and I feel like actually for many of you, there's some cautionary energies here, because there's a lot of orange showing up here. So I feel like some of you are ignoring things that need attention, and some of you are not paying attention to things that need your attention. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know. It's getting me confused. Essentially, in the reverse, this is where you don't see the red flags. You don't see the orange flags. You don't really see any flags at all. You're going about things with kind of like this, your blinders on, you're unaware, okay? In this upright position, this is where there's a flasher. This says, okay, you got to watch out for this. You got to not go over that step. You got to watch out for this tape over here. You got to not do that. And for some of you, you're missing it on both. You're kind of in this space of not paying attention, but you're also missing the things that are showing you, like maybe intuitively. Maybe you're like, intuitively, you're like, I don't think I should be, you know, staying in this spot, or I don't think I should be here or there. And you're right. You shouldn't be. And you need to do something about that. Okay. What else? There's a lot about wanting to move. For some of you, there's a want to move. There's also a lot of complications and factors around maybe housing, maybe food. For some of you, maybe it's food stamps, maybe it's disability, maybe it's money coming in, money going, maybe it's your budget. There's a lot coming in through about kids here, raising children. And for some of you, I feel like you're very, very focused on raising a child, whatever the age they are. I feel like you're trying to spend carefully whatever money you have, but I also feel like at the same time, you're not living your life in the way that maybe would let your hair down or allow you to feel relaxed. This is where I'd probably tell you to go for half a glass of white wine or something, which is interesting because Scorpio can really overdo it with the alcohol. And overdo it with the food as well. So it's interesting that I'm seeing things. I feel like there's a restrictive element about the food. And I also feel like for some of you, you kind of maybe want to be at home right now. There's something about wanting to go home or wanting to be home and not really necessarily engage with all of the fray in the world. And I actually feel like for some of you, if you feel like staying home, then it's a good day to stay home. And if you feel like going out, then it's a good day to go out. I do feel like there's some element of navigation here because we have the wheel here. You know, it's so funny. It came up also in Libra. I feel like there's a sailing energy, like a boat energy. So some of you may be going on boats or being around the water. You know, the water signs, typically they do a lot of swimming. They go on boats. They go places. I just think that some of you just need to maybe be more aware of where you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there. And like, you know, for some of you, and this, please don't take this the wrong way. It's reminding me of a person who had a lot of pieces, parts that were always kind of hanging out, like loose ends, had a lot of moving parts. So if she went somewhere, she needed her glasses and she needed her purse and she needed all these things that went in her purse and she needed all these parts and pieces just to go. And it just seems like some of you, you need to kind of reduce the amount of loose ends that you've got. In general, metaphorically, literally. For some of you, you need to really consolidate the things that you have into things that you really need. My dad, you know, this is interesting. This is like my dad's shirt here. My dad is coming through with a message about how many lotions do you need? You know, how much do you need for your skincare, for your hair care, all that stuff. I just feel like for some of you, there's just a lot of parts that you don't necessarily need. Now, you're talking to a person who was using hand soap as a triple face wash, hand wash, laundry detergent, okay? And it was $2 hand soap, lemon hand soap, when I was in my car. So essentially, you're talking to a girl who really needed to have some extras. But in your case, I feel like you have almost too much going on, too many moving parts. You really need to simplify into what you really want. That's what I'm seeing. All right. I've got to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love and support. I'll be back again for another video. So stay tuned. I intend to do more of these collectives, but probably not for a little while after I complete this series. I send everyone big hugs and big kisses, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye, guys.